Welcome to the Money for Dads podcast. This is your host, Adam Katz. This podcast is for dads like you and me who want to save on everything, stretch your paycheck, and spend more time with your family. I don't want you or your spouse to be forced anymore to pick up extra shifts, take second jobs, work overtime, or sacrifice necessities just to pay your bills. I want you to be able to choose how you spend your time while giving your kids the most amazing childhoods possible. And that's why I created this podcast. On today's episode, I want to talk about the importance of money versus driving your family crazy. What do I mean by this? Well, are you the dad that yells at his kids to shut off the lights every time they leave a room? Do you tell your kids to use only one square of toilet paper instead of 2 or 3 or 4? Do you fill your car with helium balloons hoping that it'll make your car lighter so you use less gas? I don't know about that one. I just made that up to try to come up with the craziest example I could find. But I think that you get the hint. What's really worth it? That's the question. Are you driving your family crazy because you're trying to save money? Is it really worth it to tell your kids to keep shutting the lights off? Because you don't save that much money by shutting some lights off. And I think that the impact on your relationship with your kids and your spouse isn't worth it if you're going to keep reminding them to save money on things like this. It's just not worth it. Not even financially. You'll save a penny here, you'll save a penny there, 2 pennies, 10 cents, $1. But it will build up a little bit of resentment maybe. You know what the kids are going to do? They're going to do the same thing to their kids. So keep in mind that the lessons you're teaching your kids are the same lessons that they're going to teach their kids. And you wouldn't be so happy if you were watching your kids yell at your grandkids to shut off lights and things like that. It's not so important in the grand scheme of things. So just let it happen. It's not a big deal. I actually had an example of my own to talk about in this episode. And so I told my wife, but she actually had a much, much better example that illustrates this so much better than I could. Our youngest son, David, right now he's about 1.5 years, loves to play with spices. The paprika, celery salt, whatever it is. He loves to dump them out and play in them. And obviously this is a waste of money, and we're not going to let him use any fancy spices. But my wife said, how can we take it away from him? He's so happy. And she's totally right. And what she also said was that it entertains him so she can cook. She can cook for Friday night dinners because he's just playing with the spices. And I thought, well, can't he just have a free activity or something like that? Or that's not ruining spices? And she said, well, it's still cheaper than a babysitter. And I realized that she's totally right. We would have to pay a babysitter, but instead, he spends time in the kitchen so happy, giggling, while she listens to him smiling. And she gets to spend that time with him. And we don't have to pay a babysitter. So babysitter is what, $20 an hour? So if we had a babysitter every Friday afternoon, that's $40 a week. And instead of paying that $40 a week, I don't know, we pay $1 or $2 a week for my wife to have a great time listening to him laughing and a relaxed time preparing for the weekend. So it's a win-win for everybody, except the spices, I guess. So sometimes it's worth it to waste a little bit of money. You know, we never want to be cheap, and that's a different story. But sometimes it's worth it to spend this little bit of money and to waste this money for something bigger and more important, to make people happy, to connect with your kids, and to be able to spend time with them. And so that's what I want to impart on you today, that the most important thing is definitely not money, because money itself is not important. It's the time you spend with the people that you love. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. To help you get started on your journey to stretch your income, save on everything, and spend more time with your family, you should visit my website, moneyfordads.com, and download the Money for Dads Starter Kit for free. In the kit is the Money for Dads amazing and simple budget template, which auto-calculates everything. It's so easy to use. And you'll also get my 11 money-saving tips guaranteed to change your life. They're philosophies that I use that have helped me to stretch my family's income as much as I have. So if you like this podcast, then subscribe. And if you think that it could help somebody else, a friend of yours, share it with them. I'd love to be able to help more people. And even better, which would help get the word out even more about this podcast, give it a review and a rating. I read all reviews, and I'd love to hear how the podcast helps you. So go to your favorite podcast player, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whichever one you use, and give it a review and a rating now. The more reviews that I have, the more we can share these ideas with the world, build the Money for Dads community, and help more dads spend more time with their families. Also, if you write a review, I'll probably give it a shout out on a future podcast. Thanks again for listening, and have an awesome rest of the day.